allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Call the meeting of the Salem School Board of Trustees to order. I have verified we are a quorum. We are missing Steve tonight. He is in Florida. So routine matters. Approved minutes of executive regular session of June 12, 2023, and the executive session of June 16, 2023, and special meeting of June 22, 2023. Excuse me.
So moved.
I'll second.
Motion made by Rebecca White, seconded by Allison Ezell. All in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. Motion passes 6-0. Approve agenda.
I'll make a motion.
Motion made by Allison Ezell, seconded by Becky Humphrey. All in favor, raise your right hand. All in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. Motion passes 6-0. Approve claims to date.
I'll make a motion.
Motion made by Allison Ezell, seconded by Rodney Bruff. All in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. Motion passes 6-0. We will go through all the approval of personnel and ECA recommendations, and then we'll approve them all at the end. Lana Hamilton, new hire SCS treasurer. Leah Stewart, new hire SMS 7th grade ELA teacher. Tara Bartron, interim cafe manager to BSE cafe manager. Joni Mutchler, interim operations manager to operations manager. Jamie Malloy, $500 high ability stipend. Blair Thompson, transfer PE teacher to alternative teacher. Dwayne Malloy, transfer from alternative teacher to PE teacher. Jennifer Martin, $1,000 Lilly stipend. Christine Muhiran, $638.11 Lilly stipend. Chrissy Albertson, last day August 11th, 2023. And Ethan Hamilton, resignation from BSE Special Education. I have a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Allison Ezell makes the motion.
Second.
Seconded by Rodney Bruff. All in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. Motion passes 6-0. Donations. Consider approval of donation to the Salem Schools Nutrition Program for $112.05 from Troy and Clarissa Walls. This donation is to be used for the Needy Student Fund.
I'll make the motion.
Rebecca White makes that motion.
I'll second.
Seconded by Ray Opal. All in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. Motion passes 6-0. Action items. Consider approval of the reappointment of Mark Carter to the Salem, Washington Township Public Library Board. Ray Opal makes that motion.
I'll second.
Seconded by Rebecca White. All in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. Motion passes 6-0. Consider approval of not raising lunch prices. Allison, do you want to discuss that just a little bit?
Yes, I can. So Karen is at a school nutrition conference right now, so she wasn't able to be here, but she's keeping breakfast for everyone is free, reduced lunch at the high school. I don't want to raise the price of regular lunch, but she needed board approval to not raise the price because by law she would normally have to. But she's self-funded or fully funded, self-sufficient, and has a positive balance in the school nutrition account, so she can choose to not raise the price as long as the board approves it. So just a reminder, all meals are free at the elementary and middle school and reduced at the high school. So
at this time, I'd ask for a motion to consider approval of not raising the lunch prices.
I'm all about that. I'll make the motion.
Rebecca White makes that motion. Seconded by Becky Humphrey. All in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. That motion passes 6-0. Consider approval of the 2024 budget calendar.
You have in front of you a calendar that proposes various dates where advertisements will take place in the newspaper and on the school's website. Traditional calendar that we've used in the past, and would recommend the board adopt this calendar to provide a guide as we move through the budget process.
Okay.
I'll make the motion.
Rebecca White makes that motion to consider approval of that 2024 budget calendar, seconded by Allison Ezell. All in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. Motion passes 6-0. Consider approval to amend bus driver compensation.
Yes, I've asked Ed Jordan to come tonight and talk to the board a little bit about the work he's been doing so far with transportation and the proposal for the amending the compensation. So Ed, would you like to speak to the board for a few minutes,
Well, let me
please?
just say, and thank you, Dr. Thurston, but what we've tried to do is try to look at what we had and where we were at and what we're going to have to come up against. And as I looked at those things, I was able to look at some areas where we might be able to decrease on some areas and increase on other areas where, for necessity's sake, it accidentally just becomes a wash from one end to the other. So we wouldn't necessarily be eliminating any bus routes or anything like that. So the funds that we're asking to give the board or the drivers makes it a little bit more than what they've had or what they were going to get previously. And I think it's well deserving for creating a good atmosphere down there. So any questions, I'd be glad to.
And as far as bus drivers, for the school year, are we getting some new bus drivers?
I have 5 right now that is presently in position to be hired, with 2 more waiting. So
Awesome. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Mr. Jordan, appreciate you.
Thank you, Ed.
So at this time, I'd ask for a motion to consider approval to amend the bus driver competition.
I'll make a motion.
Motion made by Rodney Bruff, seconded by Allison Ezell. All in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. That motion passes 6-0. Items from staff. We already did that.
Yes.
Okay. Any other staff? Okay. Any non-action items? New board business. Okay. We will go on to Roar Awards, and tonight we're going to talk a little bit about CAST. So, where is Cassie? There's Cassie.
Where am I supposed to go? Up there?
Just stand right up here where you can look at the
Okay, hi everybody, I'm Cassie. I wrote my list down so I didn't forget any names because I want to make sure to recognize everybody. Do you guys want to come up here too, or do you want to wait until after I'm done talking? Okay, great. So CAST has been in existence since about 2014, and we started as just a group of people in Salem who wanted to make a difference in the lives of kids. And so we started out at Salem Middle School doing after-school programming, and that was wonderful. And we have done that for several years now. And we also have been involved at the elementary matching 2nd and 3rd grade classrooms with volunteers who can come into those classrooms. So that's been great. And then in 2019, in an extension of our mission to provide mentoring and tutoring opportunities here in Washington County, we started providing tutor and teacher training for structured literacy, science of reading education. And so this is Orton Gillingham is the approach that we started training teachers. We received a grant from the Community Foundation that was wonderful. And we have been able thus far to train over 70 people in Washington County in this very particular multisensory phonetic way of teaching reading that works for everybody's brain. And it improves reading outcomes all over the state. And in fact, this is the kind of reading that is required in the new Indiana legislation that was just passed in the last Congress session in Indiana. And so you guys are already a little bit ahead of the game here in Washington County because you have so many teachers who have already been trained. And so I really, when I was approached about the Roar Award, I was excited, but I really wanted to recognize the people in our organization who have made it possible day in and day out. We have over 100 kids in our county that have utilized this program in this school year, which is amazing. Over 40 of those kids are from Salem. And I'm still collating all of our progress data, but in the summer I know that the kids who came with us for 4 weeks, really just 3 days a week for 4 weeks, had at least a 10% increase in their reading and spelling ability, which is really a small amount of time to have such a large amount of gain. So we're excited about that. And I wanted mostly to just read the names of everybody who's been involved in our school system here at Salem from our community. And some of them are volunteers and some of them are people that were able to compensate for their time. We have 6 teachers currently at Salem who are working with students doing reading and math tutoring after school. And those 6 people are Amy Crane, Rachel Irwin, Ava Kinney, Susan Davidson, Amy Craig, and Pam Berry. And then now I'm going to get to the names who aren't educators currently in our school system but have been involved in the previous year either as volunteers or paid tutors for our program. Lori Campbell, Kathy Dye, Rachel Long, Michelle Marshall, Brenda Bowling, Thomas Turner, Melina Hubbard, Laura Freilick, Hans Eilbrecht, Julia Eilbrecht, and Rhonda Smith. And like I said, we've had at least a 10% and an 8% improvement in reading and spelling just this summer, so that's super exciting.
It's very exciting.
Okay. And these guys are 3 of my tutors. You guys want to stand up so that they can...
Go ahead and come on forward and we'll get you your award.
This is work that they're doing outside of their contracted hours. So they're finding students that need additional reading help and doing
No, it only does the. I did her. I'm going to get photos from the I know it's a lot of extra work and all I do. Thank you, darling.
Thank you very much, guys. I greatly appreciate your work that you guys do. It helps out tremendously.
And Mary.
Yeah, good. All right, comments from the audience.
Clarissa Walls. Most of you know me. Dr. Thurston, I haven't met you. I'm Clarissa Walls. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I'm Clarissa Walls. I'm a mother of a recent Salem graduate. I'm an active member in this community. I work as a sales manager for a chemical company, and I co-own 2 businesses locally with my husband, Troy. In May of this year, I hosted Mr. Calhoun's honors chemistry class to my workplace to illustrate some real-life career options in the chemistry field. The students were able to see testing in our lab, engineering that goes into our facility, product development, and the sales and marketing aspects as well. This is just one of the ways that I've supported students here at Salem. I have spoken with some of you about Dr. Rutherford, and I'm very disappointed that what I had to say was not taken into consideration on your recent vote on June 21st. However, during that meeting, Ray Opal's actions spoke absolute volumes to me. If Dr. Rutherford had done something to warrant a termination, Ray Opal would not have abstained from that vote. I wish you all the best as you contemplate your next strategic move. I pray that you do what's right for the children of this school and the staff. They deserve your full attention and respect. As well, the entire Salem community deserves transparency from this school board. Regardless if you agree with my positive view of Dr. Rutherford or not is irrelevant. There's something you need to work on here. The staff, the students, and the community feel utterly abandoned and ignored by this school board. Specifically those that voice support of Dr. Rutherford. Dr. Rutherford has made a positive impact for so many here in the short time he's been in our community. This is a fact you cannot contest. As you know, he made a huge impact. Otherwise, people would not be standing up for him. They're struggling to understand your latest decision, and they need you to speak up. For some, this may be irreparable, but you still need to try to mend fences. Communication is key in any relationship, isn't it? Whether it's with a spouse, a coworker, a family member. But it's especially important to elected positions such as a school board seat. I implore you to speak up and give the public something tangible. I believe Becky White told me to trust the process, yet to be left in the dark when said process was completed. I do understand some things may not be allowed to be public, but you guys can say something. Sadly, your silence allows the rumors and innuendos to continue. And let's be honest, we're in a small town. The time is well past due for you to communicate. Without it, it's going to be hard to move forward. Ultimately, the students and staff of Salem Community Schools will suffer. Let's start talking. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Walls.
Aaron Sparkman.
Jana, can these be put in the minutes?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, everybody. So for those of you who don't already know me, my name is Erin Woodward Sparkman. I am a Salem High School graduate. I currently have 3 children who attend Salem schools, and one of them actually came tonight to kind of see what everything's all about. I am here tonight speaking to you for several reasons. One is that I am disappointed in the board's decision to terminate Dr. Rutherford's contract. For several years, there has been a lack of consistency in our school corporation, and with this instance, there has been a lack of transparency. As a member of the community, we can only go on public comment, and living in a small community,
there are a lot of public comments being discussed by community members. One of which appears that the school board has an agenda, and rather than take an administrative role in support of the superintendent, the board appears to have employed the responsibility of the superintendent, and in doing so appears to have been implementing HR policies. HR policies should fall under the decision-making of the superintendent and his committees. I am also concerned by the lack of community support for the board's decision. The total lack of response from the board gives the impression that the board does not care about what the community's opinion is. And the board's attitude has been very cavalier. There are concerns in the community about board members holding meetings at locations that are not on school grounds. I don't understand why a school board would hold a meeting at a location other than a school piece of property. Are decisions being made behind closed doors? In our town, many people know our board members, and that's how small towns work. But a decision like this one to terminate Dr. Rutherford's contract, it erodes the community's trust and trust in the decision-making process. We were told there was an investigation being conducted. How much time and money were spent on this investigation? What investigation tools were used? Were there personnel involved in the investigation? And were there any findings found and put into a written report? And when did the board receive the results of the investigation? Most of us sat in the board meeting on June 22nd and heard about all the wonderful things Dr. Rutherford has done for the students, staff, and our community. Many of us have witnessed these things firsthand. If there was an issue that outweighs all of the good, if there was an issue that does outweigh all of the good Dr. Rutherford has done for the children, staff, and the community, is that issue something that can be helped with professional development or counseling? I will close with a question or a comment. Our school has a history of providing second chances. Does this board no longer feel that they can support second chances?
Thank you, Ms. Sparkman.
And Terrell.
I'm getting old, so I'll walk slowly. I'm almost as old as Miss Droll. I am first and foremost a teacher advocate. And so everything that I see through the eyes of the teacher, because we are supposed to be teaching the children. The children, we used to have a wonderful sign that said something about students. Some kids are smarter than you. Oh, they are. And I feel that somehow something has gone wrong. When teachers are given the knowledge, information, and resources they need, both teachers and students are successful. Both entities have the materials needed for them to learn and to teach. I was a teacher and an administrator, as well as served 8 years on this board. I am also a member of several organizations. Both before and during this informational age that I am slow in picking up, I have learned from all these groups that communication is totally necessary. Totally. If we can't or won't communicate, the problem itself manifests as well the reaction of those that only hear rumors, and they are flying wild. Honesty, explanations, and sincere discussions are needed in any organization. It's needed in the school board. But I expect, no answers to the questions I'm about to answer or ask, because I know you can't. And if anybody knows me, I abide by the rules. Right, Mr. Russell? Okay. Most of the Board of Trustees, Board of Trustees are all in businesses. If you look around, most of you do have either a background in business or know somebody in business, run a business. So I want to ask a question. What did you, as a business person, do for your employees at Christmas in 2022? Think about what you did in a business, with a business, for a business, to a business. Did you give them a small party? Or a small but well-meant gift? Some may have even given Christmas bonuses. This board hired the teachers and staff of Salem Community Schools, and they are employed by you. What was your Christmas remembrance to your teachers? At the end of the year, there's usually a breakfast. Not elaborate.
That's your time, Ms. Terrell. 3 minutes. That's your time, 3 minutes.
Sorry.
Did someone make a motion for her to get more time and second that? That's not.
Jordan, if you'd like to come up here and sign, you can sign and speak.
If I can sign, I'll read the rest of what Ann wrote.
You can't use someone else's time, but you can come up here and sign.
No, I would sign and speak what Ann wrote. Sure.
You can't share time.
It's a rule.
You can't
No,
share
I get my own
time.
3 minutes if I'm going to
That's
sign.
what I said. You can come
Yeah,
up here
so
and
I'll use my
sign.
3 minutes to read the rest of what Ann wrote. That's fine.
Sure, absolutely.
Is that fair? I'll tag out with you, sister. I didn't plan on that. You can't make a motion and give more time? And how often does this time rule? Is this,
3 minutes there.
this is normal for school board meetings, the 3 minutes. Always, every meeting.
Yes.
Even the big one at the presentation.
Every single meeting.
That's goofy. That's state law? Or that's decided by
That's
you?
our board policy.
Got it. That makes sense now.
Except a timer in April.
That's been for years,
Except
though.
for April.
We can go back and look at the footage, but I believe you. I want to take your word, but you know you're all people, not easy to take your word. And I like you guys, but boy.
Please make sure you direct any comments to the board president.
Yeah, I like you guys, but I know we can't trust you. Dave, gotcha. Where'd you stop at, Ian?
Right at the top.
At the end of the year, there's usually breakfast, not elaborate, no gifts or bonuses given out for the year's hard work. This year, there actually was not even a thank you. There was a terse email message that there would be no end of the year, already announced breakfast, end of story. The reason for the cancellation was not communicated to the staff. It is a form of a no-cause clause, Mr. Opal, being used by the board. I'm going to make sure I get eye contact from everyone.
Please, to the board president, please.
Oh, is that rule 2? It just goes
It
to
is a rule.
These rules are so goofy. Because of an abundance of unsolicited conversations and personal observations, I believe the Board of the Trustees has disrespected teachers. The board, right here, has failed to value the teachers by not listening to the concerns. The board has not appreciated the teachers by giving them a simple thank you. The board has broken a tradition of having them meet on school grounds for the end of the year, goodbyes with those they may not see again until the new school year, or worse, never see again. What was the reason for this? Lots of ideas floating around out there, great fodder for rumors, lots of time to add stories. Teachers are waiting to come back to see which rumors are true. Stay tuned. No, I'm sorry. So many questions left unanswered for this coming fall, and only 22 days left until teachers return. They should be rested and enthusiastic for a new year. Will they be enthusiastic? Parents express concern about the school safety plan not being adequate for schools. Will there be a new plan presented for the back-to-school nights at Brady Shrum? There are more questions than answers. Everyone in this room should agree on that. Has the board updated what will happen if she wrote another knife incident occurs at Brady Shrum this year? Will parents receive the policy at the back-to-school meetings in August? Keep in mind, Dave, these questions. The Board of School Trustees is charged with the duty of making policies for their individual systems, as I am sure you are aware as a board. What policies have been updated and where may the general public see a copy? And no, if the board wants to know, the release of Dr. Rutherford still occupies a space in conversations and continues to support lack of trust in Salem Community Schools. Please do not tell the community there is no cause for changes to be made by the board. Thank you, Ann Terrell. I didn't expect to speak, but I got 58 seconds, so I hope you're embarrassed, because you're good people, but I need you to be embarrassed. And my concern is none of you are, because you don't show it. You're going to be human if you show it, but if you suppress this or you know everything, you're an embarrassment, guys. And I don't, when I see you in public, you're an embarrassment when I see you until you course correct. And all this secrecy, and someone else can have my 33 seconds. But I didn't plan on speaking, but God, you're better people than this. I want to believe that, but you've got to prove it. So I'm giving Ann her paper. I'm getting the hell out of here now, but Kenzie, I'm going. Sorry, Ann.
Thank you, Mr.
Be embarrassed.
Anybody else? Is that it?
Jennifer Martin.
Okay.
Sorry, Jennifer.
Hey guys, as someone who served on the board for 4 years, I feel for you. I'm not taking a side on either way. I just want to follow up on something that was mentioned last time. Anna, you did a great job speaking last time. I've known you since you were in middle school, and you had a lot of good things that you said. I just wanted to talk about some of your statistics, though, because with Mark Twain that says statistics lie or Dan lied, whatever it is he says. Don't tell my mom I just said Dan. But anyway, I want to mention that the statistics and the ratings are just like basketball ratings. Everyone knows I'm a Purdue fan, and they had #1 rating this year for a long time. But the IU fans didn't agree with that. And then IU beat us twice. I know, Dr. Thurston, IU beat us twice. Yeah. But anyway, so the ratings, when you ratings can be skewed, as you know, you're in business, you can skew numbers and all that. But when you look at the metrics set by the DOE, which is the Indiana GPS, which is Graduates Prepared to Succeed, that they've come out with, and you look at our 3 county schools, since everybody's talking about moving their kids, we score very well on those GPS metrics, okay? So maybe in one thing we don't do well on, and it's somebody's survey, but I think overall, and I'm a Salem High School grad, as I know a lot of you are, and I'm a proud Salem High School grad. And I think a lot of people are leaving for whatever reason, but I think we're a really, really good school. And I'm proud of our school, and I just wanted to point out a few things that maybe you weren't aware of. If you look back over the last 9 years, 7 of the 9 Lilly Scholars for the county of Washington County came from Salem High School. That's pretty good, 7 out of 9. If you look over the last probably 7 or 8 years, we've had 3 National Merit finalists and 3 National Merit commended students. That's pretty good. I don't know that the other schools have had that. If you look at Honor Day the last several years and you look at the total dollar amount that our students earn, either from our community foundations or from the colleges and universities, we do a pretty darn good job. And those are things, if I had a kid and I was thinking about moving them to the school, I would think about those things. And I've told some parents that. You're giving up a lot of stuff if you're moving the kids, and I'm about out of time. And it's just not the smart kids, the ones that go on to college. We have a lot of kids that are successful in all walks of life. Whether they have just a high school diploma or they have a college diploma or they get those Prosser certificates. So just keep in mind that you can take statistics from certain places and make them say what you want. When you look at the bottom dollar, which is what a lot of this is, Salem High School is a darn good school with a lot of darn good people coming out of it. And we've got several of them right here in this room.
Thank you, Ms. Martin.
Thank you.
That's it. Okay. Okay. Positive praises. Mr. Bruff.
Abigail Boyd and our trainer, Kevin Saul, won the National High School bass fishing championship.
Oh, really?
Down south, yeah. It's a big deal.
The check said $140,000.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah. Scholarship.
That helps for back to school.
Yeah.
I thank Jennifer for those. I agree with Jennifer, and I appreciate her bringing those statistics and the Mark Twain reference. I love that. But anyway, I think it's we're rolling along with our construction. Our safe rooms are going to be getting done, and we're excited about that. We got a good thing. It won't be was it 22 days till school or something like that, the countdown. And so that's exciting, ready for a new school year and a great time.
No, sir.
Mr. O?
Oh, well, since we're not in school, I don't have a whole lot. Well, thank all the tutoring, because the tutoring program started several years ago, and that's been a great thing. I remember when we bus kids up to Southern Hills, so that's how long ago that's been. I've been going about 6 years, so thanks to the folks for the tutoring for that. Last Friday, New Hope men's group have a fish fry on Friday, and their proceeds go to, part of the proceeds go to, last Friday is for the Jump Start programs. So they donate that money. Anything they raise goes to Shop with a Cop and things like that. So next time we have one next month, stop in. You get a fish sandwich. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Martin, for pointing that out. The other thing was the cheerleaders were recognized today at the Rotary. For the dunking booth, I think they actually tied with another entity. But the Rotary recognized them and fed them lunch, so that was very nice.
Thank you, Cassie, for organizing the Summer Success Reading Camp. Those gains are really impressive when you start thinking about the work that goes into that, and that is going to continue to grow in the number of people trained and bringing that into the school, you know, because if they can't read, then they're not going to do very well in some other subjects sometimes. So getting that foundation set, I think, is just really impressive, and thank you for all your work you do with that. You know, there's several REACH grant providing opportunities still to students this summer. And Jordan, he's not here, but he had made a post about some kids and their work ethic. And it was some kids that I know that a lot of teachers have spent a lot of time kind of pouring into them and encouraging them. And so it was just nice to see that kind of the seeds that have been planted. You know, sometimes it takes a little while for you to see them. You don't probably know what I'm talking about. But it's just nice to see people not giving up on kids and continuing to pour into them and see positive comments. Little shout out to Shelly Smith and all that worked at the fair booth. She did a great job with that.
To bounce off of Shelly does a lot for the concessions. I know she's done a lot for the concessions at the middle school, and she does a lot of concessions at the high school as well. She's always willing to help, and she helped out the volleyball. They had it, and I'm just speaking on Shelly just from my experience. I know she does it all over the place, but she helped out a lot with the volleyball one-day tournament. So Shelly does a lot of thankless things, just like a lot of people do in our school system, and it doesn't go unnoticed. Next regular monthly meeting, August 14th, 2023. May I have a motion to adjourn? Motion made by Rodney Bruff, seconded by Rebecca White. All in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. Meeting adjourned.